Hey, so as you can see by the title, I'm going to be reviewing the soft 5-inch uncut packer from Reelmagik. Reelmagik were actually kind enough to send me out this packer to review completely free of charge. And they also sent me out another one of the packers which I actually wasn't expecting, and I'm really excited to do another review video about a little bit further down the line. So before we get into the video, I'm just going to pre-warn that this video will contain a realistic looking prosthetic penis, and it is for educational purposes to help out trans guys with packing and for picking the right packer for them. So if you don't want to see a realistic looking prosthetic, or you're a close friend or family member who doesn't want to see this kind of thing related to me or what goes into my underwear, then please click away from the video now. Cool, he's still here. Right, this is the packer. So as I say, this is the 5-inch uncut or uncircumcised packer from Reelmagik. This one is in the P1 skin tone, which is the lightest out of their 5 different skin tones because I am pale as hell. So before I get into sort of how it looks, I will just say that the first day of me packing with it, I did damage it slightly. So when the package came, I got 2 of these leaflets, one for each of the different types of packer that they sent me. And this just says application and care leaflet, and it just gives you sort of some tips on how to pack with it, how not to pack with it, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, that sort of thing. And when the parcel first came, I was so excited, I just took the packer out and like had a look at it and wanted to pack with it and everything. Didn't even notice that these were in there. So it says, hold in place using a soft packing harness with pouch only, and do not use harnesses with openings to pull shaft through as this may damage the product. And like I said, I didn't see that when I first did it, so I was actually packing it in the same way that I used to pack with my Mr. Limpy. And it sort of left a couple of scuffs on each side of the shaft, side of the balls, and sort of a little bit at the front of the balls as well. So I am really gutted about that because before it did look like really aesthetically pleasing. It still does, but the scuffs just, it's a little bit gutting that I've sort of ruined the looks of it a little bit. But nonetheless, it still looks great. And I will show a couple of close-ups. I just really wish that I would have taken them as soon as I got the packer and not packed with it first, because literally the first day and it has got these scuffs on them. So it would have been good to show you what it looked like brand new and unruined by my stupidity, but unfortunately I didn't think that far ahead. So yeah, looks-wise it is very realistic, and all Reelmagik products are actually. I think that's kind of their speciality, is the fact that all of their products have a lot of detail and have a lot of sort of time and attention taken into the painting and just the overall look and detail and everything. So yeah, like I said, there's a little bit of scuffing sort of there alongside the shaft, a little bit at the front, and then the same on the other side. But yeah, ignoring the scuffs that I made, it is actually a really nice looking thing. Like the veins are 3D and they look really great. Even just down to the tiny little details and the wrinkles on the balls, and then the end looks really nice. I really like that. Even sort of on the inside, there's sort of a little groove that it sits in. It means that it sits really nicely on it. I think the thing that I like about it the most is actually the head, because you can actually see the shape of the head. Even though it's uncut, under the foreskin they've put in the detail, you can see the sort of dip and the shape of it underneath. So I think that's really good. So yeah, overall the look just looks really good. Again, the veins are really cool, the way that they just sort of stick out and are like different depth as well. It's not like they stick out all the same amount, but some bits are like sort of more raised and it sort of dips down and goes closer to the skin and then a little bit more out. And then again, like with the tip, it looks really nice, the way you can sort of see the like pee hole and then where it starts and the wrinkles around it. And again, I really like the fact you can see the shape of the head in it. That looks really nice. Alright, so the size of it. So as I say, this is the 5-inch, and I actually went from using the 4-inch Mr. Limpy packer. And when I got the 5-inch, I was like, oh, it's only an inch bigger, it won't even take that much adjusting, it'll be fine. But you'd be surprised how much different an inch actually makes. So it did take me quite a bit of time to adjust from using a small packer to this one, and also it is quite heavy. Like, it is quite strange, you're sort of very hyper aware of this quite a big thing between your legs, and even though I was used to using the Mr. Limpy, this is sort of bigger in like all dimensions. So obviously the shaft is bigger, also the base is quite a lot bigger, the balls are quite a lot bigger, and again, like I say, it is quite heavy. But after about 4 days, I'd got pretty much completely used to it, and we're just sort of used to it being there. But you do have to make sure that the underwear that you pack with is quite tight, and that it's sort of holding it firmly up against you, because like I say, it's quite heavy. So if something's loose and there's room for it to move around, it will move around, and you don't want to have a mishap. So as for the colour, this is actually quite a good match for me. Like, compared to my hands, it looks, you know, quite similar, but my legs, it matches pretty much perfectly. So when I go to the toilet, I actually have my packer sort of up against me while I'm doing my stuff. And that's just because it sort of feels more natural to me. It means it's not sat in my underwear and like risks of rolling out and hitting the floor or anything. And also, like, if I'm in public and I'm using toilets, if another guy comes in and for some reason the door is unlocked or it manages to get open, Like, it's there and it just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. It just feels right. But yeah, I was sat in the toilet doing my stuff and I moved the shaft so it sort of sat in the middle of my legs, and I noticed that the skin tone was pretty much perfect. And it sounds weird, but I did take a picture just for the purpose of this video, so I'll just show you this picture now. So yeah, as you can see from that picture, the skin tone matches like perfectly. And if you're going to want it to match anywhere, really, it's going to be your legs, because it's going to be between that, that's where it's going to be near to, so it wants to match that sort of colour. So to sort of talk about the feel and texture of it, when I first got this, I literally took it out and I was just sat sort of squishing it because it feels so nice. It's kind of hard to explain how something feels sometimes, unless you can think of something that feels pretty much similar. And the only thing I can really think of, and it sounds really weird, is like Play-Doh. You could just like soft and squish it. Obviously it don't break apart like Play-Doh does, but it just feels so soft and nice, and like it springs back, but it takes a second. It's like a memory foam mattress. When you squish it down, rather than just springing straight back up, it sort of like takes a second to bring its shape back. So yeah, overall it is a really nice packer, but there are a few things that I sort of want to touch on that I feel aren't so good about it, or could just sort of be improved on. Because this is a review video, this isn't a promotion video, this isn't me going, this packer is absolutely amazing, buy it, buy it, buy it. This is me saying my opinion on how I got on with it, the things that I liked about it, the things I didn't like about it, or the things that I think could be improved on. So obviously I mentioned that the first day that I was packing with it, I actually damaged it slightly because I packed with it in the same way as I did with the Miss Olympia, and this one is quite a bit more fragile, and the sort of the edges of the underwear like rubbed against it, and that's what caused the sort of scuffing on the shaft and on the balls as well. Which, as I say, I was absolutely gutted about, but it still looks like a really nice packer. But what I've noticed since then is, even though I haven't caused any more damage to it and it's absolutely fine in the underwear that I now use, the bits where it's scuffed have started to sort of flake away. Like, for example, I'm not going to like do this all the time, but like there's a tiny little bit and it just like, little bits will just come off. The bits that have been sort of scuffed and flicked up slightly will just like pull away. So it is really quite fragile, and even though there was a couple of little scuffs that would have been okay, sort of getting, not loads, but like sort of progressively worse over the course of wearing it, because the little bits just keep getting pulled at. Also, I would say if you're quite an active person who does like running or sports and stuff like that, and you want to be able to pack while you're doing those sports, this packer probably wouldn't be the best for that. The reason I say that is just because, you know, I'm not really an active person. I try and do sort of home exercises every day, and while I'm doing those, I have to take my packer out. Because of the weight of it, obviously you're jumping up and down and doing stuff, and it's obviously going to like move. But the more you jump up and down and move around, it pulls the underwear down with it because it is quite heavy. So then obviously once the underwear is pulled down, it's looser, it starts shifting around and stuff. So it wouldn't really be great going for a run and ended up losing your packer down your leg. Like before, when I missed Olympia, I would always wear it. I'd wear it all day and I'd also wear it at night. Obviously I'd wash it, but I'd sleep with it in as well. But with this one, because of how heavy and how fragile it is, I don't sleep with it in. Which means it's normally just sort of sat on my side because it's my room. If you don't want to see my penises on my sides, don't walk in. Which also means when I stop out other people's houses, I don't wear this packer, because I know that I can't keep it in while I'm sleeping because I'm worried about it getting damaged. So when I'm stopping out, I'd normally switch to the Miss Olympia, and it would be good if I could just wear this in any situation, but I feel like it's too fragile to risk it. But those are really the only sort of critiques that I have about it, or anything that I think could be improved on. Other than that, like I say, it looks quite realistic, it feels really nice, it packs really well, the skin tone matches like my legs perfectly. So overall, it is very, very good. And I don't know if there's anything they'd be able to do about the sort of fragileness of the silicone, because obviously this is a soft one, so it's like really nice feeling, really realistic and sort of squidgy feeling, and it's probably because of that it is so sort of fragile, because it is so soft, it sort of comes away quite easily. You just sort of have to take a little bit more care when you're packing with it, and be careful that you're not doing anything that might damage it. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned the sort of underwear that I actually use. So these are the underwear that I used to use with the Mr. Olympia that I actually wore the first day with this, and this is what damaged it. These are just normal like brief style underwear. So this just sits literally in the crease of like your crotch and your leg. So this just didn't work with the size and the fragileness of this, and the side sort of cut into it, and that's what started doing the sort of scuffing on it. So when I noticed that there was starting to be a little bit of damage on it, I completely stopped packing with it and went to get some new underwear that I thought would be better for it. I did have a look online for some pouch style underwear like it mentioned on the leaflet, but to be honest, I couldn't find that many sort of packing underwear that had pouches in them. And when I could find some, they were really expensive, like more than I could afford, and also from American sites, which means the postage would be high. And then as I found out when I got this parcel, the custom charges are really hefty. So I wouldn't be able to afford it. I wouldn't be able to afford the underwear in the first place, never mind the shipping and the customs fees. I mean, I couldn't afford the custom charges on this package, and luckily Reelmagik helped me out with that and paid it for me. So what I thought instead would be a good idea was boxer brief underwear. It's still got the better hold and it still sits against you quite tightly, but it also goes further down your leg, so it doesn't stop in that crease. It goes down so it wouldn't have the material at the ends to cut into it. So I went to Asda a couple of days later and just went and picked up a 3-pack of these, like boxer brief style underwear. And I kept the packaging so I could be a little bit more accurate about telling you about it. So basically, these are called cotton hipster trunks. You get 3 pairs and they're £8, just in case you live in the UK and you want to get these specific ones if you get in this packer, just so you know that they'll actually work. And just to make sure that they were nice and tight, I normally wear a size large in boxers, but for these I actually got a size small. I made sure that the like waist sizes wouldn't like strangle me and actually be able to get into them. The only thing that I would say is that they are quite loose for the sort of weight of this packer. The first time that I used these underwear with it, I was on the way to the train station and it was shifting around quite a lot, so I had to go to the toilets in the train station and adjust and nearly missed my train. But I found an easy solution to that, just when you're wearing them, roll the waistband like that. So wear them where you would normally wear them, but just have them rolled up, so obviously that brings it closer to you and it will hold it tighter against you and hold it in place better. But yeah, that works like perfectly fine for me. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I can think to talk about with it. If there is anything else that you want to know about it that I haven't mentioned in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below and ask me it, and I'll try my best to give you an answer for that. So if you want to go and check this out for yourself, I will leave the link to this specific packer on the Reelmagik website in the description below. I'll also leave all the Reelmagik social media and everything down there as well, so if you want to go and check out social media or message them on anything or ask them any questions, just see things for yourself, then you can do that. And just want to thank Reelmagik again for sending me this out completely free of charge to review. Really appreciate it. And they also sent me out another packer which I will be doing a separate review video on at some point. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video or you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you want to see more from me. And if you do subscribe or already are subscribed, there's a little bell button next to the subscribe button that looks a little bit like this. And basically what that does is send you a notification every time I upload a video, so as soon as one goes up, you'll know. And again, if you want to know anything that I didn't already cover in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will try my best to answer you. So thank you for watching, come on my journey, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.